afternoon. Today is the 28th of April, and I thought I would do another video today because I thought it's been a while. And today's another book haul. Goody. Book haul. I've got another couple of books to look at today. Now these are what's it called? I think the Vintage Classics collection. That's available at online through Booktopia. Booktopia sell. That's my favourite go-to online bookstore that I like to go get all my books through. Booktopia is great resource for if you want to buy your books. You get at a very reasonable price. They have quite a wide selection of titles available. All your new stuff that's coming out, as well as some classic titles. So you just get online, booktopia.com.au, do a search for whatever titles that you want to look for. You're pretty much guaranteed to find most stuff there. So yeah, it's a good place to source your books, get good books. So I was looking a bit of a troll through the website. You can look through the website, different categories, different sections of what types of your fictions, your non-fictions, your reference book, those sort of things. I was looking through, trolling through the website, thinking, I want to buy something, but I don't know what I want to buy. I want to have a look at something. So I thought I'll come across this collection of titles as part of this thing called the Vintage Classics Collection. And under this collection, they have a series of titles available that are like classic books. I think who publishes the collection? Let me have a look. I think the collection is published. Is it Random House who published it, or Random House Australia? Published by Random House Australia. Yes, Random House publish this collection. Random House Australia Proprietary Limited in North Sydney, New South Wales. Go to randomhouse.com.au for more details. Okay, so this is the Vintage Classics Collection by Random House Publishing, and a series of classic titles. Some of them more well known than others, but still these are classic novels that have stood the test of time for whatever reason, and in some among some groups have proven to be quite popular. Now I bought two. This first one that I bought, these are both Australian novels. In light of the fact that it was Anzac Day the other day, because today is the 28th, so it's a few days ago that we had Anzac Day. So I thought I'd get these two Australian novels, and I saw these. I thought the first one I got was this one, We of the Never Never, by Jeannie Gunn. I don't know. I have the fact they've got at the top of the cover, they've got like vintage and then the surname of the author. So Vintage Gunn, and then they've got the title. And each in this collection, each is a good piece of art, painted artwork on the cover of each one, and each there's a different artist for each author. So for all the all the Jeannie Gunn ones have the same artist but a different picture. All the each author has the anyway. So I've got this one, We Are the Never Never by Jeannie Gunn. It's about only a couple of hundred pages, not even 250, less than that. 238 pages. And it's going to the back. In 1902, newly married Jeannie Gunn, who is she's credited as the author of this book under the name of Mrs. Anais Gunn, the name of her husband. So in 1902, newly married Jeannie Gunn, Mrs. Anais Gunn, left the security and comfort of her Melbourne home to travel to the depths of the Northern Territory, where her husband had been appointed manager of the Elsie, a large cattle station. She had an unerring ear and eye for the sounds and sights of the country, and this is the moving and simple account of her life amidst the beauty and cruelty of the land, and the isolation and loneliness, together with the comradeship and kindness of those around her. So I thought that would be quite an interesting one to read, especially considering I think in the late 70s or early 80s, this was turned into a miniseries movie, and I've seen bits and pieces, like little clips of bits and pieces of that, and it looked very interesting. It looked very, very interesting. Definitely one of those movies that I would love to sort of sit down on a Saturday afternoon and sort of just with a bowl of popcorn and sort of have like one of those lazy Netflix afternoons, you know. And yeah. So anyway, there's that one. And my second one is this one. It's called A Town Like Alice. What's the name of the author? Something or other, shoot. The name of the author. This is first Neville Shute. Neville Shute, Norway. A Town Like Alice. And this one is 300 and something pages. 300 and just over 350 pages. And this one looked good to me because it's an Australian story. That's a uniquely Australian feel to it. I liked it. I liked the look of it. Jean Padgett is just 20 years old and working in Malaya when the Japanese invasion begins during World War II. So Jean Padgett is just 20 years old when working in Malaya when the Japanese invasion begins in World War II. When she is captured, she joins a group of other women and children whom the Japanese force to walk for miles through the jungle, leading to the deaths of many. Due to her courageous spirit, Jean takes on the role of leader of the sorry gaggle of prisoners. While on the march, the group run into an Australian prisoner, Joe Harmon, who helps them steal some food and is horrifically punished as a result. Jean's adventures and her bond with Joe form the heart of this gripping and moving story. So there we have A Town Like Alice by Neville Shute. So I thought this one looked also quite interesting, and I love a good story that it tells a story. I like a novel that tells a story and has a good sort of feel to it. And these ones certainly do. They've, from what I've understood, I've seen a lot of the titles in this collection. Things like there's F. Scott Fitzgerald, and that's it. These are titles that have soul, that have feeling, they have meaning, they tell a story, and wonderful, wonderful stories. Wonderful stories. So I recommend you go out to your nearest bookstore, or get online to either booktopia.com.au or to randomhouse.com.au. Search for vintage classics. Vintage classics. And search through the titles. You're guaranteed to find something that you love. Something that you would want to read and love. And definitely that's the thing. So I think that's it for now. Today is Saturday, so I'm going to spend the rest of my afternoon. It is currently 2:15, so I'm going to spend the rest of my afternoon binging on Netflix. Currently watching a series on Netflix called The Alienist. Very interesting. I'm going to binge that for the afternoon. So have fun. And one of my favourite YouTubers at the moment, D. Omar, Live with Passion.